Some say that the best pizzeria in the world either comes from Italy or New York. But what if I told you there's a pizzeria in Hamilton, Ontario, not a major city, yes, in Canada, that's making an amazing slice of pizza. Look at this. I'm just gonna go for the bite first. They won the World Championship title for Best Cheese Pizza in 2024 at the Las Vegas Pizza Expo. The best of the best go there, and yes, they took first place. Is it hype? Is it good? Is it real? We're meeting with Andy and Justin, the owners, to find out. As we saw in the interview, they cook everything on screens. Let's take a look inside of their pizzeria, find out a little bit more about this dynamic duo, and taste the pizza to find out how bomb it really is. And if you stick around to the very end, we'll find out why it's so controversial too. Let's get it.
We're at Cowabunga Plus in Hamilton. We're in the dough room right now. We got some of our guys making dough. We definitely tried to do all that we can do to get the most out of the dough when it comes to flavor, when it comes to texture, when it comes to the cookability and the ease of cooking the dough. We've come up with a pretty good recipe for that. We do use a natural sourdough starter. We do throw a little bit of instant yeast in there to help with the consistency of the rise and the proofing there. That mixed with like the 72-hour cold ferment and that starter in there, people definitely are able to tell that there's sourdough in there.
Yeah, we're about 63% hydration right now. We got a bunch of ice in here that's melted. We typically have the water. Today it's probably gonna be around 54-ish. We're doing a half batch right now. It's gonna be about 50 kg. This is our mother yeast, our mother starter. It's gonna weigh out 3,000 grams. So this is about 3,000 grams. We usually go in for a full batch, we'll do 6,000. Oh, the percentage? Oh, it's about 10%. Yeah, and then we're gonna add another few grams of instant yeast to help it start. Percentage of instant yeast, 0.02. Salt, 2%.
You guys do oil too?
Just about 2%.
So down here at Cowabunga Plus, we do 3 sizes. Our extra large, which is for our slices, that's gonna be like your 21-inch dough ball, 720 on that ball there. It would be nice to have a place where we're just doing, 12-inch pizzas. Our model doesn't really call for that. You can't really slice a 12-inch pizza into slices that you can sell for $5 a piece and have people happy for that. So we do use a blend of flours, Ardent Mills. It's a Canadian flour, so it gets ground down to a 0-0 fine grind, and we have that mixture there. Just because the style of pizza we're cooking is a bit like a hybrid of American style and Neapolitan style. We cook it in the Pizza Master and it gets pretty hot. So we want to use a flour blend that will take to our oven temperatures well. Just a 72-hour fermentation. This is the bulk ferment right here. It goes straight balls into the walk-in. Take it out of the fridge for like 2 hours.
Gradually adding more flour on speed 1, just to get things incorporated. After about 5 minutes, we're gonna give it a rest. We do 3 rests. We add the salt first, and then followed by the olive oil. And then another 5-minute mix, and then another rest, and then we started pulling it out. It was a cheese slice competition the first year that they did it in Vegas. Traveling with dough comes with its hiccups. The year before I actually had lost my cooler in checked baggage. This year, knowing that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna bring checked baggage as well as bring some dough on the flight with me. We lost our checked baggage. So we showed up with 2 balls of dough in hand. We lost our tomato sauce, we lost our cheese. We showed up, quickly grabbed some sauce, quickly grabbed some cheese, and we got our pizza made, and we were just stoked that we made it. Later that night, when they finally released the score, we found out we came in 4th place in the prelim round, and that had qualified us for the final. We have nothing now. Even if we had one of the doughs, it wouldn't have been ready. It would have been dead in 2 days when the final was. So we quickly called one of our staff members, somebody who's was ready to fly the next day, got him to pick up a cooler, pack it up with everything we needed. And by the next day, he was flying there, got there later at midnight. Luckily, everything made it. And by 6 a.m. that next morning, we're back at the expo, and we're competing in the final. The rest is history, we won first place, and such a self-fulfilling moment.
I mean, the idea when we had first met each other wasn't to open up a pizzeria together. It was to just, we just found friendship in each other through our mutual passion for pizza. So Andy was working at a pizza place and I was working at a different pizza place. I guess we just linked up on Instagram, and one of our friends was working at Chima and in Jackson Square with me as well, and we had all just linked up. I had known Andy through Instagram, but other buddy knew us in person. So we just met in person, and then the rest is history from there. And then we just started talking pizza, just nerding out about pizza. I think, pretty sure the next week we're in Toronto, just like trying different pizzerias out. So before Cowabunga, we wanted to open up a small pizza shop inside of the Hamilton Farmers Market, which is in Jackson Square. We didn't end up doing that. And then from there, the idea was like, oh, we could do this. We can come out with a pizzeria. It can be a small thing. You know, it can be a bit more like a pop-up type deal. So we tried to go for the farmers market, but didn't work out. We still held on to the dream though. And eventually we acquired just like a full brick and mortar place. We saw the place, it was pretty run down, it was pretty beat up, and that's how it all started. A month after we signed the lease, the pandemic hit, so everybody went into lockdown. When the lockdown had hit, we had to kind of pivot the direction we wanted to take. We couldn't do slices inside anymore. We couldn't have like all of the things that we wanted inside of our takeout location, so we just made it like lockdown friendly by just doing takeout only. It really helped out because we were the only people that had opened up a business in the longest time in the area. Our product was really good as well. Good product combined with the hype of social media of a place that's opening. And on the first week we sold 50. The next week we were selling 100 pizzas. Next week was 150. And then we finally capped it off at around 200 pizzas, medium and large. And that was within like 3 to 4 weeks of our soft opening in there. When it comes to personal opinions and when it comes to preferences, you know, the one thing that we have to tell ourselves is that although we own the business is its own entity and the business doesn't have opinions. The business caters towards the public and what we think the public will like.
From the beginning, we always wanted to keep ourselves, like, kind of not take ourselves too seriously and like leave space to be able to experiment and like do things that people don't usually see on pizza. You know, like our namesake pizza, the Cowabunga, has like popcorn, chicken, peanuts, sesame seeds, scallions on it. It's kind of like a Korean barbecue inspired pizza. And like like the one that you mentioned too, the ones with the broccoli and the kale on it, like we still wanted to kind of not necessarily push the envelope, but also like just not like keep ourselves like within a certain like style. Exactly, yeah. And like even with our dough, like a lot of people ask us like, what style of pizza is it? And like it's kind of a hybrid. It's like what Justin said, like it's a combination of what we both like, what pizza, and what we think other people will like. You know, we're not like New York style, or not like Neapolitan style, certainly not like pan Detroit or anything. Kind of just like a mix of what we enjoy in pizza, and I think that's like a part of why we're unique and people like our pizza is because you know, we don't really follow the rules. Like we try not to follow the rules technically. Yeah.
Let's do simple the best that we can, and then let's be creative with the stuff that's not so simple. So most of our pizzas are your classics, like your pepperoni, your Canadian, the Hawaiian, your margarita. There might be some like twists to it and whatnot, but you know, like the green pizza you were talking about, the GG, the garlicky greens, the one up, the Cowabunga. Those are 3 pizzas that I can honestly say you will never find at any other pizza place in the world. The Cowabunga has peanuts on it, has pineapples on it, has fried chicken on it. You know, with the Cowabunga, we tried to break every rule possible. I personally don't like pineapples on pizza. I know a lot of people don't. I don't think anybody's ever seen peanuts on a pizza. And fried chicken is not usually the type of chicken people will throw on a pizza as well. So it all kind of came together as that pizza, and it does quite well. It's not our most popular pizza, to be honest. It's our least pizza-esque style of pizza, but it's very good and it's very different.
So this is a cooked sauce. We use Stanislaus Tomato Magic. We cook it down with a bunch of olive oil, garlic, salt, and dare I say it, a little bit of sugar as well. I know a lot of people say it's a little sacrilegious, but you know, we find it works for us very well. Not to say that Stanislaus product necessarily needs it. Everybody has their opinion on what a good sauce is. It's very much works for us. A lot of people here like it. Yeah, so we cook it down for about 2 hours once it's simmering. And then from there, we blend it a little bit further than the way it comes in the can. We throw a bunch of basil as well in there. So these are actually mini bocconcini balls. I mean, it's the same cheese, but I found just for consistency and ease of cutting, I feel like the shredded is a lot more saltier. It gives it more flavor, whereas a fjord latte with all the moisture in it kind of gives it the stringiness that a lot of people desire when they have like a cheese pizza. gives it a little bit of the pull. And it's just kind of like the depth of texture, essentially, and flavor, I guess, too. So we were talking about blending and like doing hybrids of everything that we do. So our cheese blend as well is a blend of brick as well as whole milk. So it's about half and half, shredded up, pre-shredded. It just like kind of gives it a nice like balance, cooking at the temperature that we cook at. Straight up oregano, super simple. From here, we're assembled. We always do like one final little stretch at the end. And then the beauty with the screen is that like, you know, we can stretch it right out to the edges and make it look aesthetically pleasing, make it round, which also just makes the chaining of making our pizza a lot easier. We find that this is like a great way to, you know, make them all consistent, as well as like when we're firing off 400 pizzas in a day, it's just a lot easier for us to train our guys to do it the way we want it to look. I'm gonna build a Pep Plus next. Pep Plus is our name for the pepperoni pickled jalapeños finished with spicy honey, which is a big staple for us. But as you know, it's a very popular pizza, especially down in the States. Yeah, that's like pretty much what I eat when I have a slice here, like 9 out of 10 times. So it's a lot more like seasoned and spicy, and you know, going straight Battistoni would make it too spicy, but with just a straight Venetian, it's not spicy at all, really. So we would offer a mild pepperoni, a spicy pepperoni, as well as our Pepperoni Plus, which has the pickled jalapeños on it. We always lean towards using either local ingredients or Canadian ingredients. Battistoni is like one of 2 that we don't use that are Canadian, second one being Stanislaus. But you know, our cheese coming from Saputo, our flour, Ardent Mills, are all Canadian product.
So that's our Pepperoni Plus. It's nice having the 3 decks for the volume that we do, just because sometimes one deck might not be up to temperature. And one of the worst things to do is obviously launch a pizza when the oven isn't all the way up there yet. Yeah, popping these bubbles. We don't dock our pizzas, so this is what we gotta do to prevent too much bubblage from happening. When it comes to our pizzas, the way they cook, it's about 7 minutes. We have to pop bubbles on every pizza just because of the way that it's fermented. So as soon as there's a little bit of coloring that's happening and some of the bubbles start forming, that's when we take it out for the first pop. And then you throw it in, get it off of the screen, make sure it's not sticking. For about 6 to 7 minutes, you're turning it, making sure that it's getting colored in all of the right spots. The screens are definitely something that we had to look at as a compromise when we had first opened up the business. You know, Andy and I come from a culture where you don't use a screen. The pizzerias we worked at, it was traditional New York style. It was traditional like wood-fired Neapolitan kind of style where Andy was. You know, Andy and I come from that era of like, oh, these guys are using a screen. Look at that pattern on the bottom. Like, these guys don't know how to cook pizza. You know, when it comes to business, you know, as passionate as we are about pizza, we're also passionate about being successful entrepreneurs. So we had to come up with that compromise and, you know, figure out, okay, like, this is a product that we want to scale into volume so much that Andy and I aren't always going to be able to do it ourselves. So in order for us to be able to do that, what tools can we use so that somebody that's just coming out of high school that doesn't have too much kitchen experience can easily be trained on it? And one of those things were screens. It's so hard to launch off of a wooden peel. It's so hard to, one, just launch it, but launch a perfect circle off of a wooden peel. We figured that since we had gotten a Pizza Master, an oven that is an electric deck oven that's capable of very high temperatures, it's got the options for things like, you know, bottom heat and top heat. You know, if we blast the bottom heat enough, it should pierce right through that screen to the point where it's like you're not even cooking with the screen. So that's, you know, some of the things that we had thought of when it came to, you know, opening up a pizzeria in 2020. You know, we don't just have Baker's Pride ovens anymore. We're not just working with planetary dough mixers anymore. We've got tools that are able to be utilized so that we can do things a lot more efficiently with a lot less skill involved. Screens aren't perfect either, though. Like, sometimes if you're using a dough that's a little bit overproofed or it's like a little wet, one of the biggest problems that we've had with screens is pizza sticking to the screens and not being able to get the pizza off the screen. It can be a bit of a nightmare sometimes, especially when it's very busy. Just because if you can't get that pizza off that screen, one, you're gonna have to throw that entire pizza out, you're gonna have to throw the screen out, and then you're gonna have to refire that pizza. If it's to the walls full, then everybody's gonna be late. Like, all the pizzas after that are gonna be late. Usually the dough's full. The biggest culprit of that is the dough's overproofed. And if that's the case, then we just gotta use new dough. That dough's past its end of life. Sometimes we can push our dough to a 4-day dough, and it's usually when we try to push it. The bake is about 7 minutes. Yeah, 650, 3.2.
Are you running a pizzeria in this day and age? If so, your cheese costs are probably killing your margins. As someone who's talked to hundreds of pizzeria operators, I've seen this story play out many times. Here's what most pizzerias don't realize. Baccio isn't just selling you cheese, they're actually paying you to use premium cheese through their rewards program. Think about that. Better quality and cash back on every order. That's why I'm seeing more and more pizzerias switch to Baccio. They're getting the perfect cheese pull while actually improving their bottom line. Don't just take my word for it. Schedule a demo today and let them know What's Good Dough sent you. See how quality and profitability can actually go hand in hand. So we got the world famous cheese slice, and this is the cheese slice that they won the Pizza Expo with. I also got their garlic dip, my best objective review as possible, but so far it's looking great. As we saw in the interview, they cook everything on screens, but I mean, look at that golden bottom right here. We got that nice yummy cheese. I mean, that is a beautiful colored slice. It's very hot, it's crispy. Look at this. I'm just gonna go for the bite first. You can hear the sound and everything. The crust has a lot of flavor. Thanks to that sourdough that they use as a pre-ferment, there's a good tang there. Personally, not getting a lot of salt, which is what we heard earlier from Andy, but also, yeah, pretty mild on the salt. That's a good thing because pizza as a whole is already salty. What we will get salt from is the cheese, the sauce, everything else, this dip. So let's take a bite. Cheese sauce ratio, crust, crunch bite, perfect. Oregano, delicious. Solid freaking slice, unbiased. As fair as I can be, that is a pretty damn good slice. If anything, my personal preference would just be to add more salt on the crust. But that said, the crust is still flavorful thanks to that 3-day fermentation and natural leavening. And look at that crackle. One of my favorite things to look at when it comes to pizza. I mean, come on. Holy shit. That's my first Canadian dip and it definitely won't be my last. Holy fuck, Justin and Andy, you gotta sell this shit. No wonder you have a customer who brings it all the way from Canada to LA. This is fucking bomb. Alex Coons, Pie to Pie Pizza. If you're watching this, thank you, because you're part of the reason why I'm trying to say you gotta get on this shit. This is fucking good. We've been recording all morning. We'll hit 3 pizzerias after the shoot, and this is just a great 4th slice to top off the day. I'm so happy this hits the mark because it would have been super sad if I didn't love the pizza. There are pizzas out there worth traveling to, and in my personal opinion, this is one of those, especially with this garlic dip. It is fucking fire.
It's always something that we're contemplating and what direction that we want to take the business in, whether that's expanding, locally or globally, or into other products and whatnot. When it comes to owning a restaurant, when it comes to being in food, you can take it anywhere. We can take our dipping sauces and have them pre-packaged and have them inside of groceries or sell them in our own market. But when I look back, I don't regret anything, to be honest, because when we had opened up this place, we had learned a lot about service, a lot about pizza, a lot about different styles of experience. If we want to open up in the future, we can take bits and pieces of Cowabunga Plus, whether it's just the slice counter or it's just takeout, and we can streamline that process into one location. Like literally, what is good dough? Good dough is, in my opinion, is something that's been well fermented.
You can use that literally with actually in the process of dough making, but also in the process of business, in the process of life. Doing things low and slow.
Justin and Andy have such a great story, very motivating and very inspirational. If you want another one just like it, click this video right here. Until next time, peace.